End that broadcast, son.
Anyone watching?
What? Yeah, right.
Can you see views?
Dude, what are you up to, man? Brad, what's the day like?
I just been over at the office today working because the cleaning ladies were here, so now I'm back.
You back at the house then?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Because I've been seeing a lot of pictures of you on TV. You're trying to run that country, Ukraine.
No, I'm trying to run that country, Russia.
Oh,
Are you saying I look like Zelensky?
yeah.
He was like an actor or something, right? I'll take that.
Yeah, he was.
Look at this.
Actually snapped the perfect picture of you.
This just got delivered.
Oh, nice.
That's perfect.
That is perfect.
Look what his shirt says, Brighton.
Check that out, Brighton. I knew you were going to be on here today, Brighton.
Yeah, we had Deadpool on the other day.
Can you read that, Brighton? What's that say, big boy?
Can you read?
It says Mike is rad.
Did you say Mike wishes he was Brad?
That's exactly right. I do.
It looks like he's got his Minecraft shirt on.
Yeah, he's had that for a few years. He never gives them up. He's mixing the brown and the blue Wolverine though.
What's up, Sean?
Not sure how I feel about that. He must not have a
You
black.
working on, Corey? What's the week like, dude?
Dude, just client stuff. Bunch of client stuff. I was doing a ton of national and
National clients?
Yeah, national clients, and I hadn't really done a whole lot of local, for, I don't know, probably 2 years. I had a few that I was still working on, but then I was like, man, I'm just going to start taking on some more local. So
if you can keep the interactions with them to a minimum, then it's not bad.
Yeah, it's true. And the best way to do that is just to bring them results in their inbox every day, and then they
overwhelm them.
Look at
there is
that's him. Yeah,
I was like, look at this guy trying to run a country.
I'm trying.
How's it going?
Well, I'm getting shot at a lot. It happens though.
Bitches.
What? Yeah. What are you up to, Mike? Is it still smoky over there?
It's horrible, bro. It's horrible. It's not going to be good until winter, like at all.
What?
Yeah. It's.
Are you in any danger of your compound burning up?
No, we got we're getting like freaking shit landing around every once in a while, but right now it's pretty good. They kind of backed it up the hill a little bit more, dude. You like my image, dude? Isn't that a pretty image?
Our review.
You can change this text, but you won't because you're lazy.
Did you just throw that up?
That was last week. That's from like literally from Banner Bear, dude. What's up? Niche, talking niche and niche. That is. I wonder if that is AI generated, dude. That looks like a couple libraries that I am playing with.
A couple of your RPG libraries
right here, dude. Yeah, my RPG libraries, dude. Damn straight, bro.
Dude, Corey, did you hear what I'm working on?
What are you working on, Brad?
Outside of SEO? Not much in SEO. I don't do SEO anymore.
Running a country.
Yeah, well, I figured since I'm getting shot at a lot, I need to learn how to build structures. So we're gonna have to rebuild Ukraine. I'm doing the bushcraft treehouse for the kids out in the woods. I've got the acreage behind me. It's all wood.
Yeah, right.
Spencer, I need to go grab that.
I think your wife is probably going to spend more time out there than the kids.
Yeah. Reading her smut novels.
Are you really building one?
Yeah. I'll need to get a picture. But it's funny because Spencer was like, we need a treehouse. I was like, I don't have any plans to build a treehouse, like the drawings. Okay, hang on. So he draws up some shit. 3 trees and interconnected with a platform and a ladder. He's like, there you go. I was like, write treehouse plans on this. I helped him spell that out. So then the next day he was like, when are we going to start on the treehouse? I was like, buddy, I need to look up how to. he's pretty much, he didn't say bitch, but he's like, bitch, I drew you the plans. And I've got them on the plans on the, I need to laminate it, but I've got that on the fridge. So, but yeah.
So is that what you're really building it off of?
Yeah. Well, it's going to look a lot like that, probably lower quality than his drawing, but it's three trees. So it's a triangle, and you've got the two poles going there, and then the one going there. And then I'll put slats, like smaller trees, like all across. So new 2x4s, no anything. So
gotcha.
Pretty cool. So we went and bought a drill. I've got some rope coming. I had some rope so I'm learning all these knots and shit.
You had to buy a drill.
Bushcraft and Brad.
Well, the Bushcraft isn't the drill. No, I bought a new drill, a better drill. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With new bits and everything. So mine was getting like, I'd had that for fucking ever. So I bought that. I did buy a new pocket knife. So yeah, we went to Home Depot, bought that shit. I'm like, I'm going to build a
sniper nest. We'll build a sniper's nest.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a duck blind or something. So same idea.
Nice. Legit,
so
dude.
yeah, I'm like, I'm going to build a treehouse. They're like, good, sir, Mr. With this drill, where's your fucking wood?
You don't need a tape measure.
Yeah, so I'm out there with like a hand chainsaw. Like it's just a chainsaw blade with handles, and you go like that, like chopping down trees in the woods to get it.
Oh, you're using wood from the trees?
Yeah, I'm not buying any 2x4s or anything. The only thing I'm buying is rope and like screws and shit. Yeah.
You're gonna piss off all the greenies out there.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what you do best, though.
I bought that and piss people off. Yeah, I bought the land so they can suck it.
That's right. That's right.
So it's gonna be pretty cool.
I want to see pictures.
Yeah, I'll get it. Kelsey's taking progress pics, but it's not a whole lot of progress at the moment. I've got the outline. And then we're going to do zip lines to another tree and shit just because I fucking want to. I'm like, I was looking for him. I was like, got to make sure it holds up my fat ass too. So.
Zip lines are fun.
Yeah. So it'll be a zip line out of the treehouse down.
That's dope. Yeah. And onto the back patio?
No, like I can't, it's going to be hard to go uphill. So pretty steep.
Well,
to another.
Then you can go from the uphill. You can go from the patio to the treehouse.
Yeah, all the way down. Just make hopefully a tree's not in the way. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Stone structure. Yay.
What are you doing, Mike?
There's an article that needs to be optimized on Just Lux that I have no idea. I don't want to read it, so I'm trying to figure out what it's about.
Are you still working on shit for them?
I did. There's a campaign I've got. Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it's like the same stuff. Selling links and shit, dude.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on, where'd it go? Shit, launched it in it sold again, dude, and then it's back. So
yeah,
dude, the site keeps going and giving and going and giving, bro.
Hey, so that was any of that update related? Because like a lot of people are, there's been some. Have you guys seen any crazy updates on the maps?
I've heard there was a big one out, but
there was a big ass update. Yeah,
it's in and out. Like one campaign yesterday was like $900, but the day before it was like 300. So there's some pretty big swings going on right now from day to day, but it is what it is. Yeah. They just choose what they want to put up at the top. So
right.
And I've noticed with maps over the last year or so, they've really been trying to decide, do we put more weight on the business name, like actually having a keyword in there, versus all the other shit that actually should matter, like a real business, not like a PPL shit like we have. Right. So it's like it depends on which one they favor, and it goes from day to day. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look around and I got a bail bonds guy in Los Angeles, and like all the top rankers over there have Los Angeles in their name, except for like one, and that's same for like auto insurance, just all that stuff. So every time whenever I pick up a new local client, that's one of the first things that I do is I add the city name to the to the GMB, and that always pushes pretty good.
We did that when we were pushing Drug Rehab New Jersey.
Okay.
We just added New Jersey at the end, and it bumped it up. Or actually, no, that wasn't it. Sorry, we did it without touching it, without touching their GMB at all. We just pushed it through CID links, the image stuff, all that crap. So we pushed it up, and then when they canceled, because we were essentially white labeling for a rehab marketing place, and so when they pulled the contract, we pulled the links, they tanked, but then they went in and added New Jersey, and they started to come back up, and then I think they went back down. I don't even know if they're up there anymore.
Are you still doing CID pushes?
With other shit, but I mean, I feel like it's been dwindling for years, the effectiveness of it. So
I had one that I was testing, and it was up there for about a year and a half, and I pulled it, and I don't know if it's because it was pretty much at the same time as the update, but that thing dropped to like position 5.
Yeah, if it's there from back in the day and you pull it, I've seen it tank them, but then doing a new one, it's kind of hit or miss from what I've seen.
So Meb has a good comment or question, comment-ish.
Yeah, get him.
Google's new helpful content update targets sites creating content for search engines first. Google will soon roll out an update to its search ranking algorithm.
Yeah, that's the one on Search Engine Journal. I think that's the article. Hold on.
Yeah, they're not even on the first page of the actual maps.
I actually was thinking about pulling that up because of the fact that everyone's talking about it. It came out like just a little bit ago. Google announced it's launching a new algorithm update next week called the Helpful Content Update. And that's not helpful when they pop up when I'm reading these. So penalize them. It aims to boost content written for people and devalue content written for primarily for SEO. Now, here's my question, dude. Why would an SEO write it for SEO and not for people? And how do they differentiate that?
You know what? My answer to that would be that you have a lot of things in there that say "and also," which means that it's fun content.
Right. Unlike the recent product review update, which targets specific kinds of pages, the helpful content update is site-wide. This means that it has potential to impact all pages. It sounds like a core update to me. The helpful content update, and where are we? We're like October almost, kind of, somewhat. No, we're August. The helpful content update.
What month are you living in?
A new signal that Google will use to rank web pages. Although Google is giving a heads up regarding these algorithm changes, a week isn't a long time to, like, they're doing something in a week, dude. However, one could argue that all sites should be written for humans in the first place. Next week, we will launch the helpful content update to better ensure people see more original, helpful content written by people for people rather than content made primarily for search engine traffic. The tweet links to a blog article with more information. Here, let's go find their shit.
Yeah, because how are they going to differentiate that with a bot?
Where if we can find the dev blog on it, then they will talk about more information than anyone else's, because they always like fucking talk about shit that isn't like, it's like with web core, there's like 50,000 things that they talk about on their dev blog, and then they push out 3 to the community. Focus on people first content. So what is this? The helpful content update, better understand where visitors feel. This is going to be CTR, more CTR related, watch. Or not CTR related, but more user centric when it comes to metrics. Well, content that doesn't meet a visitor's expectation won't perform as well. How can you ensure creating content that will be successful with our new update? By following our long-standing advice and guidelines to create content. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there's a process that's been going on that's working right now that can rank shit very quickly from page 3, 3, 4, 5 to 1. Like, we're talking 30 minutes, and that's what I think is going on. But to create content for people, not search engines, people first content creators focused on satisfying content while also utilizing SEO best practices to bring searchers additional value. Answering yes to the questions below, you're on the right track. Do you have an existing or intended audience for your business or site that would find it useful? So do you have a demographic? Okay. Sounds like eat to me, guys. Does your content clearly demonstrate firsthand expertise and depth of knowledge? That sounds like this freaking webinar thing we just did. does your site have a
So
primary?
Mike, hit pause. So what are some words that we can get in there in order to satisfy that? I think a lot of them would have to be like, saying the word you, because it has to do with the reader, and then we or us or like our business.
Yeah. So essentially too, like it's going to be the same kind of breakdown of content and metric, because they're going to look for topical expertise. That's all they're saying right here. Does your content really have a demographic? Does your content clearly demonstrate expertise and a depth of knowledge? That's modifiers like you're talking about. Does your site have a primary purpose or focus? That again is topic and theme. After reading your content, will someone leave feeling they've learned enough about a topic? So that basically when they talk about site-wide, what we need to think about is how they score like secondary pages to the first piece of content, how the user interacts after that and everything is what it's talking about. And when it says, have they learned enough about a topic, this means, are we getting traffic for a certain keyword modifier, and are those users actually enjoying what they're doing, and does everything look good? Do you have the right modifier for that search? And realistically, I don't see this as hugely different, but
I think what they're saying here, and there's a lot of comments about this is the first salvo against AI hitter. Probably
they've been doing that already though, dude.
But AI is, let's just assume AI is now sentient. And
right.
So AI can be a person now, and we'll assume that it's a real person, just for sake of SEO today, that we're writing for a sentient robot. So AI has taken obviously AI is moving forward. Quantum computing. Who knows exactly where they're at with that stuff, but.
So this is pretty straightforward, right? If you're getting traffic on modifiers in a topic and the users are satisfied, then you're going to have traffic from that. If you're not talking about those modifiers, you are not an expert. It's just like we did in webinars, the webinar, last month or whatever. And right here, it's talking about, are you keeping in mind our guidance for core updates and product reviews? So we'll review that here in a second, but this really is just more of the same, in my opinion. They're just talking about it. Avoid creating content first for search engines. Let's see what this is. How do you avoid taking a search engine first approach? Answer these questions. Is the content, this is basically the quality raters guide, guys. Is the content primary to attract people or search engines, attract people from search engines rather than made for humans? Now, what the fuck is the difference there? That's confusing to people, I think. Attract people from search engines rather than made for humans. Are those not humans? Like, seriously, like, what's the difference between people from search engines and humans? I mean it, right? Like, what the fuck is there?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Are you producing lots of content on different topics in hope that some might have it? Again, okay, now we're off topic again. Like, this is not something at all so far to even worry about and think about, because it's just what they've been doing for years. Are you using extensive?
Who do you think is going to get hit by this then? Because it sounds like if they're looking for
everybody, everybody, like this, here, where, let's see, performance, and then compare. Well, that doesn't look as. I was looking at the graph over on Ahrefs, and I thought there was a bigger drop in a certain area, but it doesn't look like it's there. Am I filtered on anything else? No, I'm not. But let's look at this. Anyways, okay, so where are we losing shit? We're losing something here. This is a pretty. That's brand. I don't give a shit. So Bulletproof did take a hit. So what's up with that? I want Bulletproof clothing, dude. Like, straight up, I do. Okay, so what we've got
Bulletproof clothing on Just Lux. Is that luxurious now?
Dude, everything's luxurious, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Bulletproof Zone, and then
is it bulletproof?
It always is, bro.
Oh,
it's like
Adproof, armor,
resistant shit.
That you go on the list if you buy that.
Yes, you do. Let's see if we can find a non-store. I and see what we get when we come up bulletproof clothing. So let's just go with site. Fuck it. All right, let's see. Bam. Bulletproof material for clothing. So we've got a site that did have 600 results for the topic, but let's see what we got for the materials too, like, or 3,600, I think is what it was. And then like the point I'm going to make is that all these sites here, if we come and look through the guys that are ranking here, compare it to Just Lux, where we come in and we look at Just Lux and we look at what they got about what's going on about that right there, right? So we've got 1, 2, 5 results returning that even have a broad match, dude. Like, so if we're talking about bulletproof clothing, and Brad, you said it, right? Is that something that's luxurious? Okay.
Could be, I guess.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's expensive shit, but
yeah,
straight up, like you can already tell by looking at what's here, what's returning from this, that if we look at these guidelines compared to who's ranking in there, we are not a first-hand expert with a depth of knowledge because we don't have additional pages supporting our primary content. Exactly. We don't have the modifiers on the website. So that is something that should drop, right? Until someone decides to go in and say, okay, fuck it, we are about it, and let's build all this shit out and let's see what it is. And we've gone over those processes on how to do that quite a bit. Let's see what else we got. Lots of content. So that's mass page, but honestly, I'm not worried about mass page. I don't think it's going to have an issue if you do it right. With this extensive automation to produce content on many topics. This is not about AI, dude. I know people are going to talk about this about AI. Automation, AI, mass page. This is about topical expertise. It is not fucking about AI. And the reason why people get into this thing about AI, and it's a good angle for Google to take, in my opinion, is because when you're doing it without thinking, you're building a bunch of shit that's not going to rank. Just like what we saw for that keyword set, that market of bulletproof clothing on a site that doesn't talk about it more than once. You're going to end up with a bunch of random shit that doesn't kind of build the expertise in Google's crawl that they need to see, right? And that's what it comes down to so far, what I'm seeing. I mean, what are your guys' so far?
I would 100% agree with that. Like if you have a website that you're publishing content on there about let's say massage therapy, and then you decide that you want to start selling affiliate products off Amazon, like light bulbs and other things like that. You know nothing about it. There's nothing on your website about that already. You got good DA, you got all this other stuff that it could rank based on all of the metrics of the website, and the content's perfect 10. But I think you're exactly right, Mike, is, if you don't show any, really, if you have not already contributed to really the corpus of information around a particular topic or subject, and you all of a sudden start launching content around that, and I think that would be just for the bots so you could rank it. Yeah, you're still going to write it for people, but when somebody gets to your massage website and they're reading about buying lights or watches off Amazon, that's a stretch. I'm sure nobody would do that, but just point being that, stick with your topic, at least kind of, even if it's super broad, you're still going to be within the guidelines of what the subject is talking about.
I was talking to Brad, like I was thinking, actually I'll go into what I was going to say next after this. I was thinking about like what you were talking about on Crave, where you're, instead of building an additional site right now in a market, you're cleaning a site up, right? You're tightening up a site.
Adding to it, yeah.
And that site was automatically generated, right?
It will be, yeah. Well, I'm picking a bunch of the rehab one that I'm already working on. I'm just working on indexation, so the pages are already built. So there's that, and then once I get that down, I'm having a bot made where it'll just shit out HTML pages all day. It's like everything out there except way more simple, so I can operate it. So
yeah, no, I can't operate shit. No, but so that question is a good question. Look, I just want me to be bigger, dude. This is how we do it right here. That's much better. That's the way to do it. Let's do this. Sorry, Corey, I'm trying not to cover you up.
Oh, no, it's all good. Let me just, here we go.
So Facebook user, how is this not the typical blustering, create better content, even though we can't really effectively siphon it out? Is it just another spam detection adjustment, or can they really tell if your content is? So this is why we did the webinar. And then it goes on to, if you have higher authority, you can outrank everyone like Zillow outranks every real estate broker. So there's a couple things there. And I agree with what you're saying. I think this is a really interesting way to say that, hey guys, we stopped talking about EAT as much in the last quality raters guideline. We're not calling it EAT anymore. We need a new spin, and people are using a lot of AI, and Google uses AI. They scrape the web. They do exactly what they're saying not to do, but they're doing it in a way that is useful to the user. And they're saying essentially be useful to the user. And that all comes down to literally Google going on your page and breaking apart. Someone said they saw a tweet about what we always say. Well, okay, this one right here. This is what I've been talking about for a long time. Saw a tweet recently that Google scrapes the web for content and publishes using bots. Google also says it's against the terms to scrape the web and use AI. Google's not a search engine. Google is a personalization and a recommendation engine. They build content pages for their users specifically. They're a cloaking company that creates pages people want, and that's it. And so our job is to do the same thing. And we can do that by, again, using the people that are already ranking in there. Right after this update happens, like, I'm not even going to worry about this. We'll continue reading this thing and go through it a little bit more. But I'm not going to worry about it because I already know they've been rolling it out in places. And I already know that when you know this and what they're doing, that you can rank extremely quickly for massive sets of keywords without trouble. And that's not going to change, because topical authority with Facebook users saying, is this blustering, create effective and filter out spam. And then you're saying that great content does sell, but it doesn't always rank. So the thing, that's 100% true. And the thing is that great content is subjective. Great content from an SEO standpoint, not a SEO marketer standpoint or a content marketer standpoint, but from a technical, I'm doing SEO standpoint, great content does exactly what Google wants. And then you're converting that with the user. So you can build SEO driven content and still do what Google wants, which is deliver an awesome bitchin' experience for the user. And Google can easily tell if your content is quality for the SERP or not, because if you're in there and you have a piece of content and this update happens, and what they're going to do is update they're going to rescore, they're going to update their understanding of search queries, and they're going to reposition everything and reorder everything like they do constantly. So if you're not there and you are off of where you need to be, go back to your competitors and find what they're talking about on that page and supporting pages that you don't have anymore. And that is how Google can tell if you're an expert or not. It has nothing to do with anything other than topical fullness or whatever the hell you want to call it. The keyword cluster for that page, the entity for that page or that SERP is what's important. And they're never going to change the way they do this. They have to understand topic, and the only way to understand topic is to know what the words are, right? So if they can pick and scrape the words, we can scrape the word. I mean, realistically, we can do the exact same thing. We can't do their math and their like scoring afterwards, I don't think. We can try, but we can't do it. But we can do the best thing that we can do.
We can do the best thing that we can do.
That's a quote for the day. I'm going to make a short. Watch. I'll make a short with that dance and, oh, that's it, dude. Now we have to do this. I just figured it out. I know what's important today. Because now, with what just happened, Corey, what are your thoughts on more of this, bro? Because I got to find something real quick.
I think that everybody who is probably paying attention here and who has been paying attention probably doesn't have to change anything that they have been doing.
They might have
I need to change everything.
Like you might lose traffic and you might have to update your pages, but that doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing something wrong, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Okay,
and
so
it also means that some of the tools that we're using might
you get it. You get this.
That's it. That's it.
That's right, Corey. That's it. All right,
Where did you record that, Corey?
At my class this morning when I went to.
Are you maybe summarizing what others have to say without adding much value? Can we say maybe this has to do with adding video, maybe some AI generated imagery to kind of emphasize something, maybe take some content from that's ranking on page 1 that doesn't have a lot of multimedia and paraphrase that and add in different media types, and now you actually are adding value and you're a better piece of content.
Right, and that's what I was thinking too, is different elements on the page. You got tables, you got images, you got links out to other authority sites, just all the good elements that you want to put on there. Like you said, Mike, like a video and other things that would keep people around, built for people.
Yeah. No,
people buy people.
But how long have we been talking about this, guys? Brad, how long have we been freaking talking about this shit?
6 years or so.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, are you writing about things simply because they seem trending and not because you'd write about them otherwise for your existing audience?
I just look at keyword data, like what gets the most, what's going to make me the most money.
It's a simple thing. Like, okay, so I know I need this modifier on my site. I can do a search through an API for what's trending on Google News and then take that feed and feed that in. And now I can hit those keywords when they come in, and those are needed by your market. Why wouldn't you have them? Google loves sites that give their users what they want. And if you're in a market that people need to know the news, you better have the fucking news. Or you're behind. And that's why people lose traffic on cores and shit like this too. It's funny that, maybe they're rolling out some sort of new math with it or something. Who knows what we'll see, but this is not new. Does your content leave readers feeling like they need to search again to get better information? What does that sound like, guys? Do they need to search again to get better information from other sources?
Well, they're already so far ahead of the competition. It's just going to be tweaks.
But that's a bounce, right? So if they bounce, if they close the browser and exit, then that's a good signal, right? But if they bounce back and they check another, look at another result and find better information over there, they go into the site, then that's a signal right there, right? So yep. interlinking all of our content hubs is a good way to get them clicking further and further into the site, and then by then they're not going to go back and look at another website. They'll probably close out.
And well, that goes back to like the examples of having the right follow-up article for people that are coming into a computer, tech support site where they come in and their keyboard isn't working and they don't know whether it's hardware or software. So you better damn well have a way for them to get from that initial page where they hit whatever query that was into something about hardware. Because if there's something that needs to be clicked on that needs to be hardware or read about that needs to be hardware, if you don't have that in your page cluster group, there's a chance they're going back to the search and they're searching, right? So this literally just comes back down to, again, we're not rocket scientists. We're doing SEO. We're doing site structure and page optimization and off page. I mean, that's what we do. And that's all we do. And that's what Google looks for, right? At least that's my take on it, honestly.
It's the only one that matters.
I don't remember. I don't have my notes in front of me,
But you have the internet in front of you, though, so that's...
I do.
He doesn't know how to use it.
I think it was client side, user interface, presentation, intervention, function, user interface, assigning document identification as posing techniques. So I'll explain it this way. I'll go to a query and we'll do what's the best method of link building. So Google has this thing right here, no, they removed it here. All right, never mind. Let me see if I can find one. Dude, I watched a video with people actually doing that shit.
Doing what?
And not knowing who the president was. It was kind of crazy, dude. So Google this is a good example here. Google knows, and if you look on your phone and you see what they deliver as buttons when you do voice search in your AI assistant, like Google knows what's related to this, and it has to do with more than just the keyword association. When PAA was really hardcore, you could see that reordering based on usage metrics. Like they reorder content based on usage metrics, they reorder their SERPs based on usage metrics. They know what the next, they can basically kind of try to determine empathy and know what the user's going to do next. And so if you do not have the right content there, not only do you not have the keyword there, but there is scoring based on what the previous and next document will be. And if you have people coming to the next document, there's scoring there. There's a lot of math around things like that. And so making sure that stuff's covered and you have that whole topic there is extremely important. And it goes back down to, yes, it is content, but it's more of the data that you pull in and make sure you use the right data. Information. Are you writing for a particular word count? That's funny. What did we say last time about word count, Brad?
Many times it doesn't matter.
It just matters what you talk about, and however quickly you can do that, do it. How did you get it on this? Did you decide to enter some niche topic area without any real expertise, but instead mainly because you thought you'd get search traffic? I think that's what I have always done, dude. So I might be in trouble. Right. I actually truly have never made content for anything other than search traffic.
You're right.
Except for like newsletter stuff and marketing campaigns. But does your content promise to answer a question that actually has no answer, such as suggesting there's a release date? That's contextual. That's does your content promise to answer a question that actually has no answer? This is an indicator of what they can understand, and I like it. Such as a suggestion there's a release date for a product, movie, or TV show when one isn't confirmed. There was a site I had that I know some people know this and some people don't, and it talked about Firefox version 2.0 before Firefox version 2.0 was released. And the reason it talked about that is because it got more traffic and cheaper traffic from Adwords and other things to the site, and converted extremely well when Google paid to install Firefox. And there's a reason they want to understand these things, because they do not want users misled. They don't want to deliver misleading content to their users. They want to deliver stuff that's on point. And so when they say that they are asking if that's there, this goes into how they can tell if something's a sold link or what's going on the page, and if you're an expert. And it comes down to what you're talking about on that page and their knowledge base. Like if they know there is not a release date on IMDB or like a seed site in that market, if there is nothing there about what you're talking about, it's not hard for them to algorithmically cross-reference shit like that, right? They know this shit before we do. They pick it up quickly. And if we're trying to game that way directly, there's a way they can figure it out. Now, there's a way to build that shit in without actually looking like
a lot of when I'm when does season 6 of this
exactly that's
come out? That's and I always click on it, I'm like, oh sweet, and it's release date and everything. It's always the same format. Then they're like, we don't know when it's coming out, but they do provide some shit.
Exactly.
I end up staying on the page for a little bit. So
what can't be unseen there, Facebook user?
Dude dancing. Corey in his jazzercise class.
Yeah,
right on.
My workout instructor.
You're teaching now.
How the update works. The update will start rolling out next week. We will post on our Google ranking update pages when it begins.
Did they post this, Mike? When did Google post this?
This was posted today. Yeah, this is today.
Okay. Oh yeah, 18th. Got you.
We will post on our Google ranking update pages when it begins and when it is fully rolled out, which could take up to 2 weeks. It's a core update, guys. I mean, that's shit is, dude. Yeah. And they're gonna roll it broad core, watch, or it's core. I mean, maybe they roll it to the US and not. We'll see. This update introduced a new site-wide signal that we consider among many other signals ranking web pages. Our systems automatically identify content that seems to have little value, low added value. This is just topical, or is otherwise not particularly helpful to those doing searches. Any content, not just unhelpful content, on sites determined to have relatively high amounts of unhelpful content overall is less likely to perform well in search, assuming there is other content elsewhere from the web that's better to display. See, that's the key right there, guys.
This sounds like all good news for us, right?
It's great news, especially when they're telling us we can still spam their shit when it's new.
Exactly.
I mean, I hope people pick that up. And like they're basically saying right here, right? Like, so mass page websites and spun websites and AI generated websites are less likely to perform well in search if there is better content somewhere else on the web for that query that is better to display for that query for some reason. For this reason, removing unhelpful content could help the rankings of your other content. Right here, for this reason, this thing here, all it means is clean your shit up, dude. Or you're going to clean it up afterwards because you're going to lose traffic. And realistically, a lot of traffic you use like will be shit that you don't need to have anyways because of where you're at with your optimization at that point. A natural question some will have was, how long will it take? If it removes unhelpful content, sites identify this update may find the signal applied to them over a period of months. Our classifier for this update runs continuously, allowing it to monitor newly launched sites and existing. This is market updates. This is like, yeah. As it determines that the unhelpful content has not returned in the long term, the classification will no longer apply. So this is the page removal part of combining articles and article when you need to. Some of it. This classifier process is entirely automated using a machine learning model.
Before you move on from that, so you said combining articles, and I know I've heard you talk about that in the past. Like, let's say we're writing for PAA, and you say maybe it's just better to have one page than multiple targets. Mm-hmm. This kind of sounds like you might be better off having, having the same, or like keeping more pages live than mixing them all on like one huge page.
That's always the case. Like, so you can always go too big. And in my opinion, what it comes down to is the fact that you just need to do what's working, and you need to look at the data that you can find. And that means what's in the SERP. If everyone, like a lot of SERPs where there's a brand that's a part of the query, you'll see that brand will rank for multiple pages. And then the other sites in there will actually like rank for that grouping, like with a single page for that keyword cluster rather than multiple pages. So it really just depends on what you pull out and what you scrape out. A natural question that some will have is how long? Oh, we did that. Yeah. This classifier process is entirely automated. It's not a manual action nor a spam action. Instead, it's just a new signal and one of many signals. So what they might have done is they might have written new math around everything that we've been seeing. That's kind of what we've been seeing over the last 6 months to a year, maybe them playing around with this and combining some different things and calculating things in a different way. So they might calculate things in a different way, and there might be a couple things to tweak in the process. But I highly doubt it's going to be very impactful for people that are actually doing this properly. It's many signals. This means some people first content on sites classified as having unhelpful content could still rank well if there are other signals. That's what dude was saying, like other signals identifying that people first content as helpful and relevant to a query. The signal is also weighted. Sites with lots of unhelpful content may notice stronger effect. In any case, for the best success, be sure you removed unhelpful content and are also following guidelines. The update impacts English searches globally, so it is English market wide.
So would other signals be off page, like your backlink?
Yeah, that would be off page. That would be the traffic to your page, how it interacts. That would be everything that they use. Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I read it. There was a couple questions, I think, in there as I was reading that shit. Let's see. Cowboy t-shirts. They say it will just drop the site completely, not losing traffic. That's actually not what they said, right? So that's probably coming from somebody in the market that heard that Google announced something and didn't bother to go read what Google said. Honestly, that's 99% of people. So here's a good tip for you. When Google does this kind of shit, go read their blog. Don't read it elsewhere. because they just said that you can still rank without doing this shit if you have other signals proper. And then that other one, modifiers. Yeah, modifiers are topical relevancy. So like modifiers that are supposed to be together is the keyword cluster, right? So like if we look at, well, let me pull something up. Blah, blah, blah. What do I got that I can look at without causing an issue? Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. So like this here, right? So this is a page. This is the keyword cluster for the page, right? And what we see here is the top sites for that keyword cluster. And then we can see what they're ranking for on those sites. Basically, like how many of them are going to be talking about this modifier or that modifier. And what we're looking for is like things like this. If I don't have the CUSM acceptance rating, if I come into like something like this and I'm missing, the crypto one is a good example, I think, that has a bunch of shit in it. Let's see. I can't switch it without going into some shit, but let me find one.
Sumar.
What's that?
Do you crypto Sumar?
Yeah, that I was gonna look at that, but I know that there's a couple in there where they're missing literally like everything in there.
I get a lot of notifications about that site.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's because it's in my.
Is that the AdWords shit?
That might be that.
Yeah, exactly. So like right here, this Reddit shit it's not a huge overlap, so we're not too bad, but there is some overlap there. Right here, I can tell you right now, like this site is kind of off at this time when it was run for where we're trying to rank this basically the keyword modifier is what I'm getting at. So the modifier here for pre-med consulting should actually can kind of end up over here on this page that was there. And so that page there is the target page. And so we would probably come in here and de-optimize the homepage for this and then add in and optimize the this page for those modifiers so that we can have the page that's built similar to what our competitors are doing. And like I'm looking for like overlaps of 5 and above when I look at these kind of modifiers for the content, if that makes sense or whatever. So they were talking about 2 other documents.
So another thing though is that I think you can still overdo it.
Oh yeah.
I had a client that I laid out a strategy for him. I wrote all the pillar pieces, or my content writers did, and then I had them writing supporting articles. Mm-hmm. And they went from like 50 or so uniques a day to up to like 15,000. And then they were like, all right, thanks for the help. And they bounced and they kept on the strategy, but they kept writing article after article linking to the same pillar pieces over and over.
Yep.
And the site like lost about 2/3 of its traffic.
I would be willing to bet that they were hitting on way too many of the same things on multiple pages and then kind of skewing off into different modifiers than they needed to be in, to be honest.
Yeah, and they just they were using the exact same anchors a lot of the time. And but yeah, they called me back up a couple months ago and was like, all right, we need some help again. So, but getting that back. So that's the other thing is that, in the quest to be, very relevant to a specific topic, we don't want to overdo it and start grabbing for things that would be, maybe Google would consider this as obviously for bots because you've already written about this 3 times in 3 different ways. Yeah.
Dude, remember this talk, multi-user personalization on voice interface device from the event, dude? How they can identify the users through the different devices.
Yeah, it's messed up.
That's funny, dude. That's funny. Let me see, where was I at? Shit, I think I forgot where I was looking for, but. So we got how to rank, page one without link building and a medium competition keyword, that is going to start with what we're talking about with the content itself and the modifiers in that content and the optimization of the page. There's a lot of stuff that if it depends on the market you're in, and if you are able to pull stuff and pull traffic and do different things, you can rank that stuff. But you need to deliver for that shit first, in my opinion. Like you can't pull the rank without being able to deliver for the query. So when you're looking at console, let's see, like we're getting this delivery on certain keywords, right? Because of shit that's on the page. And so that's how you do it. You're going to write about it there. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to start analyzing your content, and you're going to try to push the traffic in for that shit. And you can score that way. But I mean, I would never go into something and say how to do it without link building, because you're going to build a link no matter what, whether you think you are or not. Corey, what are you doing? Like, I'm not saying that you can't rank a page without going and building and buying a backlink. But Corey, do you ever do campaigns that don't have any links?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it depends, but that does depend on kind of the how good the site is already, if it's in good shape. But yeah, like you can like, I'll come to a site. So you mean any new links or no, starting from scratch and ranking?
No, I mean no links, dude. Because what you're doing when you have it. So let's talk about what a site that has like all that love. Mm-hmm. Like say it has high trunk PR or like root PR. And you come in, and Brad and I were talking about like a buy a 10 campaign we did where we were adding content to the page, modifying content that's there. What we're taking advantage of in that case is there's already page rank. Like you have to have page rank.
Right.
Okay. You created it externally, right? And I know you know this. I'm actually talking to you. So, and so like if we have page rank and you have a page, an article that you optimize, and you add some keywords that need to be there, and or modifiers that need to be there, then that starts to rank higher, right? And then you pull traffic and the users interact, and that does better. Now, if you added a supporting article for that a user's clicking into and things, well, what you're doing is you're inserting this into a mature cluster. Like you're putting the content into a mature cluster already that already has page rank, and it just starts to flow the page rank. So you're never, ever, in my opinion, when you ask how do I rank without links, you're never going to do it. You can't. It's impossible. But
a website, and I don't think there's really any such thing as a website that doesn't have any links, because as soon as you're going to get some spam links no matter what, and there's no way you can prevent a website from getting links. So as your content comes out, and even if you share it on social media, it doesn't necessarily generate a backlink in let's say a private chat, but somebody likes it, they share it, whatever. You're going to have you have to have some kind of juice coming into the site. I think in my
let's think about it. Like the original PageRank, map calculation was based upon estimations on the user clicking a link, right?
Right, exactly.
But if you create a social media post, and people are using it to get to your website, you just did what they were trying to calculate. You can't say that's not a backlink, right? Like that is a backlink. You are creating backlinks. Now, how do you do it?
Even in email, even inside of an email.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's some guys that do some amazing SEO just using like their email list, because the content, it's the email is part of the cluster now. They send that out, and it's related content that people are coming into, clicking to the site, and then moving to documents and moving around that cluster, which shows Google that that's validated content, and it's got links from Google itself on gmail.com or whatever. So
yeah,
it's definitions and semantics, but it's important to understand that like you don't have to go in and say I'm going to throw a big budget at it. You have to go in and say I'm going to market my site, and that's going to build links.
Right. One way or the other, you're going to get some traffic in there from links. So anytime you get a referral from anywhere, Google takes note of that. And then especially like traffic. So again, I mean, the only time I've ever ranked websites without actually using or building any links is in getting traffic to the site. And that's through using some paid through.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. You have to, and it's like if I go to YouTube or if I go to Google when someone I'm subscribed to is hosting a live stream and they're optimized the video, that's going to be the one spot or the position 0 spot. I'm going to see that live stream in the search, in the organic search, while that's live. So we have to understand that there's a lot of ways to leverage different content types. That's one of the reasons they talk about it, about adding value, is because this content, the multi-user, multimodal stuff, multimedia, it means like if that is there and all of a sudden like you've interacted with that, your user profile has interacted with this live stream and they know that, they're going to deliver that content to you and you're pulling it. Like, are you playing with, do you use shorts at all, Corey?
No, I'm wearing some, but I don't necessarily use.
I don't wear any shorts. I rock it naked, dude. But like straight up, dude, like shorts, if you hit the right thing and you throw the right thing in, doesn't matter what your fucking channel's about. They're going to show that short to people that are in a related user profile in the same demographic, and you're going to fucking pull traffic and views without fucking worrying about it.
Right.
Like seriously, man, like there's shit that I'm throwing up that, and I've been playing with it a lot and throwing it into accounts that have nothing to do with the topic, dude. And if you hit on the fucking right thing, like for that demographic, they'll throw that into the profile. If you read, like, I've been doing a lot of research into IMDB because I'm trying to help dude out with his movie or whatever for a favor. And if you read into some of their older shit, like everything they're doing is like profile based, and it's like what you taught with the AdWords at the event, dude. You know, if you do a search for a sharp knife, right? Who am I? If I search for sharp knife, I could be anybody with a kitchen or that wants to go camping, right? But if I add in, like, what's a good modifier to start building the profile, Corey?
So how to get away with murder.
There you go. Now who are you?
Yeah. Okay. And then leather gloves that don't shrink when they get blood on them.
Yeah. And then I add in, I'm going camping. Where can I camp in this area? Like, we're very different people in this profile, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, depending on the visitor. So, and again, I mean, just remember an ad is also, there's still a link somewhere that is that the website is live that has that link, that ad link. And so you have actually a link from Google. But then when that traffic gets there, that your profile is already built. So Google's adding that profile of the user into all these different advertising databases. And so are all the other advertisers that are out there. And then, and that can act as like that's as strong a signal as good, really good backlinks that are coming from a relevant site. So
when you look at the ClickFlow and you look at the Clickstream data,
actually after that talk, I've had a bunch of people hit me up on Skype, and they're just like, and they show me sites that they've ranked with just using ads, like, and shooting it over. But it 100% that works. It sometimes it gets fuzzy, like the math in that is kind of fuzzy, like using the right search terms and things like that, targeting the right audience. But
well, this shit's so damn important. Like, I'm going to pull up some data here on IMDB, because like if IMDB is doing it, then we can assume that Google can do it too, right? Amazon can do it. Everyone can do it, right? Etsy can do it. Everybody can do this shit, right?
It was OJ. That's right. OJ. That's the answer. CMG.
OJ. Not as where is it? Let's see detailed box office info, and where's the other? Let's see. Where is it? Rating. So if we take a look at some of the shit going on the movie page and take a look at the e-meter and then the ratings breakdown at the demographic data. Like if I want to promote something, it's like going in and doing behavioral targeting on Facebook, right? If I want to come in and promote something here, then I want to take a look at what's going on here. Okay, what did men do? What did women do? Like, who do I need to go and freaking target to get ratings here when I go over to Facebook, right? And the same thing happens, like this is going back to, like, I think we'll end on the modifiers again. The same thing goes back to the way the content works. Like they're marrying all of this up. They have been for years. If they know the demographic data because they have AdWords, and they have AdWords, guys, like literally the SERPs are built based on shit just like the way AdWords is, because that content bids on a slot in their SERP. Like the content is bidding on, I want to be there. Okay, is the content doing this? Is it good? Blah, blah, blah. What's the quality score? Okay, yeah, this can go here because the topics are there. But with all of that, like demographic data, they also can go, okay, well then that person is always on pages about this topic that talk about this modifier. And so if you don't have that modifier for that profile, you're not going to deliver your content for that profile. Doesn't mean you won't deliver it for a different profile and be in a SERP at a different time or slightly different SERP, or for a different user or a different time of day. But you have to just start kind of marrying all of it together to understand why they're talking about content the way they're talking about it, because they can do all this shit just like everyone else. So I think that's good, dude. I'm gonna get work done, and I've been talking too much. Actually, you know what? We're gonna finish what we were doing, and we're gonna look at what they said to look at. Fuck it. So this literally pointed everyone back over to core updates and product reviews, right? So let's see what a product review is. You evaluate it from what, like kind of what Corey was saying, from the user's perspective. That's how you're an expert, right? Demonstrate that you are knowledgeable about products reviewed. Show you are an expert. If you are writing about chemotherapy, do you have to be a doctor to be able to write about chemotherapy and be an expert about it, Corey?
I would want to read something from a doctor, but no.
You don't, but you should probably have gone through it or been a part of it or had
correct,
or this and that. Now, if you're, let's think about the expert there, and this is just back down to the content, right? If it's something where they're talking about the hardcore details about how chemotherapy works and the chemicals, then you might need to talk about an MD or a degree there, a PhD or something on that page. If it's about how to deal with the fact that your sister has cancer and is going through chemotherapy, you better damn well mention the word sister. If it is that you have gone through it, it's like what you were saying. You better mention I, me, you, right? Or you're not going to be there. It's just, it's straightforward one-to-one relationship.
100%.
Provide evidence such as visuals, audio, other links of your own experience with the product. That says multimedia to me again.
Yep, exactly.
Quantitative measurements about how a product measures up in various categories of performance. Useful shit, right? Modifiers that talk about what's useful and what's not useful. I have a lot of crypto pages on different sites that dropped in a bunch of different places because they did not talk about certain like events, like things happening to the owners, or hackings and things like that, new hardware coming out, new software coming out. And when you don't have those for certain SERPs, you're never going to rank for those SERPs high. You'll deliver, you'll get the impression count, like everyone goes on Facebook and says, look at how much traffic and how much impression count I have, but you're never going to convert or make traffic. Explain it. So all kind of comes back down to me right here. Identify decision-making factors. That again is just contextual, right? How do I pick out the right paint for my car? Should I worry about rust or just look at it from an aesthetic point of view? Like those are all freaking just modifiers, right? Describe key choices and how a product has been designed and their effect on other users. Include links to other useful resources. Consider including links to multiple.
Would this be so when they say like definitely they're saying product reviews, you think that this is actually when somebody's typing in like stevia review or like XYZ, they're actually identifying.
I think it's everything, dude. I think it's a hint. That's it. I think that they want you to know that, like, when you're in a product review space, they know it's affiliate, they know it's kind of your money, your life sometimes, and you have to have, we'll say, better quality content, meaning you have to have the right items on page, like different types of media at this point. That's what they want. It's go back to the recipe shit. Recipe pages suck because they have to add all this shit in.
They should put the recipe up on the top.
they literally have started hiding recipes after all of this content because that's what everyone's doing, and that just perpetuates shit. So Google thinks that they're trying to build quality, but like if they let something in that is not quality and then everyone starts doing it because that's what everyone's ranking with, now that's the quality again, right? Like it changes what quality is. And then the manual review, then the quality raters have to go back in. And if you read those guides, it says, look at the SERP, look at the content delivered, look at what we're delivering in our content. Like, are we putting in recipes? Are we putting in Google Books? Like, and say if that's a good feature for this or not. They also, like, if everyone's missing what they've done with adult keywords, like you got to pay attention because this is all tied into what they're doing with adult searches with the quality raters and stuff. So it's all back to the same shit, man. It really is. There's nothing really new going on. In my opinion, they're just getting better at things and they're doing new math. Key choices, links, ensure it's useful content in your ranked list for them to stand on their own, even if you choose to write separate in-depth single product reviews for each recommended product. That's supporting content and various things. Core updates and reassessing content. Nothing wrong with pages performing less well. They haven't violated anything nor been subjected to manual or algorithmic action. In fact, there's nothing in a core update that targets specific pages. Instead, the changes are about improving our systems and how we assess content and how we assess our SERPs is what that means. If you read the quality rater guideline, you know what they're doing when they roll out core updates on a regular basis in broad cores, like on a time period. They are reassessing SERPs, they're reassessing content, they're reassessing what should be in a good content piece. And they do that by having these people that are quality raters train the machine learning. It's like in Vision, you can label, they've been human labeling images forever and shit. So how a core movie operates, imagine you made a list of the top 100 movies in 2015. A few years later in 2019, you refresh the list. It's naturally going to change. Some new and wonderful movies that never existed before will now be candidates for inclusion. You might also assess some films and realize they deserved a higher place on the list than they had before, because guess what? Now the IMDB rating is higher and it's become more popular with the users. So if you're saying it's a shitty movie and everyone else is saying it's a great movie, I don't know. Maybe you don't deserve the traffic. So, all right, rant's over, I think. Anything to add to it, dude? Or anything we're missing?
No, I think this is an encouraging update.
It is, dude.
It's looking at everything that probably everyone in this group has been doing, who's followed the ways of NFG for a long time, and you're building your content the right way. I think one of the crucial takeaways here, though, is notice where it's going, where it's come from, and where it's going. So again, they're pushing other elements on the page. So get those shorts together. And when you're talking about your short videos, Mike, yes, I do on some of the highest ranking stuff that I have out there. I actually have my clients take out their phone, record like a 3-minute video, and then just go ahead and embed that with a link from the description on YouTube. So it's like just a reciprocal link from YouTube to the post itself. And that always helps. So you've got those things, and that's definitely, that is built for people. So I would say just take a little bit more care and consideration into getting some different elements of media in there, like your images, image plus text, and different things in there that would definitely be built for your audience. And sometimes that would also include, throwing in some authority links. Like I don't like linking out to any websites other than the money site when I'm, doing pillar pieces of content, but maybe I need to look at that and start changing that up a little bit and let some of those links out. Because that shows that you're building it for people, not just for the bots, because I'm not just hoarding all that link juice from that page for the website itself.
So let's read this real quick, because we haven't gone over the new changes for the quality ratings. But what we'll do is we can look at the blog post that they posted, or the one we were looking at was the core review has these questions, right, that they say to take and pay attention to. Where did I put that motherfucking PDF? All right, right here. So this is it, I think. Yeah, so this is August 22. Okay, so improving search to quality rating process. We'll see. Let's see what they said the language changes were, because I don't have notes. Refresh language to be aligned with newly published BAP. Okay, so updated its quality ratings guideline over 9 months since the last update. Document keeps getting smaller. Refresh language to be aligned with the new, an overview. And then there's this is the one right here we want to see. Refined YMYL to focus on topics that require a high level of accuracy to prevent significant harm, and added a new table of examples, added clarifications to low and lowest quality pages to emphasize that the type and level of EAT depends on the purpose of the page. So that's just going back into market specific and harmful pages that can occur. Refactored language throughout the applicable across all device types, minor changes throughout. Here are the previous versions compared to the live ones. So here's the updated change log, refreshed language, refined, expanded. I don't care about that. Let's go look for this. This is what I want to see. It's just recording. I wonder if we can find a recording. Yeah. And what else is it saying there? It's got it. Okay, it does a headline, provide title, description, focus on content. Okay, this content quality questions, we'll go through this and just kind of tie it back right into what we're saying. Does it provide original information, reporting, research, and analysis? When we look at the quality rater shit, let me find reputation of the reputation, overall page quality. Purpose is the expertise, authority, and trustworthy, main content quality. This is kind of this is getting into the webinar we did, but so I think right about coming in here, where is it? Example of high quality pages. News on the homepage of a newspaper is often on topics that impact society. This is a YMYL topic. So you know how people were talking about how like all these newspapers and publishers lost a lot of traffic in the last core?
Right.
Yeah, here we go. This is the homepage of a newspaper that has won several prestigious awards. This newspaper has a positive reputation for its objective reporting. That's basically relying on the author right there. Satisfying amount of high quality MC means that they trust it right there. But okay, so opinion. This is an opinion piece written by the editorial board. The page is clearly labeled as an opinion piece, so they contextually can say, okay, yeah, this is not saying it's fact, it's saying it's opinion. Everyone can see that. Purpose of the page, display official clock. That would have high bounce rate too, so that's a good reason why high bounce rate can be very good, right? The page displays clock information in an easy to read format, and high EAT for the purpose of the page. So that means they've got a lot of links, they've got a lot of shit like that, right? Maybe some content that needs to be there. Let's see what it looks like. I wonder. It's just going to be an image. Yeah, there we go. So I thought does that look like quality content though? Does it?
Maybe that's what people are looking for.
I like that's what Facebook users said. Like, what's this quality content spam thing, right? Like, this is literally an example of why quality is so specific to a SERP.
Yeah.
To look at.
So in that case, yeah, a bounce is perfect, and you can't go anywhere anyways.
Right. No, you're gonna bounce. Like this is gonna have like a 99 or 100% bounce rate, dude. Like it's going to bounce. There's nothing it's gonna do. And honestly, like usually this is why dwell time and different things and bounce back, I don't really care that much about, because like if I'm doing this, if I'm looking for this site, I also then might after that start looking for something like with my travel or
right. Yeah, that's good.
There's no way to predict where that person should go in the next query, right? This is so broad that depending on what query it is, but because I don't know what this page delivers for, but it is super broad and you just can't worry about shit like that. You have to worry about what you can control.
And that's where recipe pages should have gone, but unfortunately.
Right. Absolutely, dude. They absolutely should be there. So this is the page optimization, right? The right content in the right places right there is what this looks like. Does the headline and page title, does the headline or page title avoid? Is it the sort of page you want to bookmark and share? Would you expect the content to be referenced or printed in a magazine, encyclopedia, or book? Does it have external links that says expertise? Does the content prevent information in a way you want to trust it, such as clear sourcing evidence of the expertise? Like, this is contextual right here. This is outgoing link right here. Background about the author and the site that publishes it. That's probably additional stuff. They have been playing around with author rank a little bit lately, so they might be doing some math around that. I don't know.
So Mike, what would you say about like when they, because you know, if they're scoring content based on like Flesh-Kincaid, like there's going to be a lot of queries that that probably deserve some higher level writing, but just because of the nature of people, Google finds a higher quality content score for something that's, you know, got sentences that have less than 25 words. It's got shorter words. It doesn't have a lot of heady words. Like those are the things that, you know, unfortunately, without actually doing a manual look or sometimes, you know, even using different tools like Cog, that you'd have to be aware of how you know, somebody who has a super in-depth knowledge of being able to dumb it down in most cases, unless you're doing something that's scholarly.
Well, that's the thing. You do have to dumb it down, and that's why a good copywriter, like so, my sister and I are going through the process right now of outlining how it happens to try to kind of give away for people in the group in NFG and that are coming to the event in September to get the faith. But what is important is that, like, if I'm the expert, I can create an outline, right? And then I can give some words to it, and then I can have someone dumb down the topics. Again, that just breaks it back down to the modifiers, like touching on the right topics. Like they can't get away from it, is what it always keeps coming back to for me, dude. Like the expert can outline what should be there, but if the expert writes it, it's like Brad has to fucking re-say a lot of the shit I say, because I say it in a way that's super esoteric to myself and nobody else fucking understands it, right? So no one wants to read the shit I write, even though it might have good information. They'd rather read something that someone wrote like for them specifically and for their demographic, you know? Yeah. So more expertise question. Is the content written by an expert or an enthusiast? How do we determine what an expert or an enthusiast is, right? Is it like citations that reference the fact they have a PhD, or that they talk about they had written a book about how their sister had cancer and chemotherapy?
I mean, that's one of them, but they're just other content that you have on that site that maybe you've written as the same author.
This guy right here, this is not the right one. I'm walking hard times. Yeah, this one, Stephen Arnio. This guy's my fucking hero, by the way. And so this guy, he fucking refused chemotherapy, went to the fucking Amazon, wrote 3 books, and then died, right, at like 33. I would call him an expert on cancer, like straight up. Like I would consider him an expert on cancer. And so how do they find out that he's an expert, right? I don't know. He's got books that he's written. He's got video out there. He's got multimedia all over the place, right? And then he's got certain words on those pages, and that's kind of easy to build a profile of what that's.
And how many times his work been cited though too, which is backlinks and, you know, crap like that.
Exactly, backlinks, everything. Exactly. I want to see on Scholar. Is he here? Did I spell it right? Let's do this. CBD. I'm interested. I'm fucking gonna ADD out on this right here. Yeah, look at that. Man. I think that's a fucking PBN or what, dude?
Jeez.
Actually, I don't think it's PBN. I think there actually is. Other questions at all, dude? Are they just listening to?
No, I think this was good to, you know, just to set everybody at ease for.
So I'll fucking rant short. it's more of the same, and I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, we're done.
Sweet.
Dude, are you around here in a bit?
Yeah.
You working on, like, what markets are you working in today, dude?
Right now I'm working on bail bonds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, some bail bond stuff and
in California, dude. It's a great market, bro.
yeah, it's huge.
Is it it's multi-location, I'd assume.
It is, yeah. They've got 4 locations in LA County.
Dude, yeah, it's so the guy that wrote Social Explosion, like we had bail bonds clients together, and like debt consolidation, debt purchasers, and debt recovery, and collections. And dude, the bail bond stuff, once you do that and you make a name, like they start eating you up, man. Like in different areas, dude. It's a good market, dude. I really like that market.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good dudes.
How's the new grandbaby?
Oh, she's cutie. Real cute. She was a little bit small because Glenda had COVID when she was pregnant with her, so she came out like super small. And then, but yeah, she's putting her weight on. She's just a little doll.
She's what, like a month now?
Yeah, barely.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, Glenda stuck out with us, so we went out to the desert and like all kinds of stuff when she was like maybe 15 days old. It's pretty wild.
Well, hopefully we answered the freaking question about that thing that may have had.
I think so. Like I think everybody should have peace of mind.
Now I need to have someone go break that shit up into shorts so it can get thrown out there, dude.
All right.
That's not going to happen. If I was a professional, that shit would happen, dude.
Yeah, right.
It really should, though. I have some notes on time points that would be good there, but yeah, I think I'll have to do at least one, dude.
Good. Very good.
All right, man. I'm going to get some food and then I'm going to ping you.
All right. Later, everybody. Catch you later, Mikey.
Later.